so I'm assuming the dragons were sleeping and now they are awake and now we're dealing with the dragons. Oh god. Hi, my name is Adriana and today I'm going to show you all the books I hauled in the month of February. So February was a bit of a rough month for me. Very stressful personally and professionally, and instead of dealing with my issues, I decided to buy books instead. So realistically, this started with a 20% used book sale from my favorite bookstore, Powell's. I have like a TikTok of it if you want to go check out my TikTok channel. I got 4 books from that sale, all James Rowland's Sigma Force novels. So if you can kind of see down here on this shelf, I had a big portion of the Sigma Force series in mass market paperback, and I wanted to finish out the series in mass market paperback because I would like to reread the whole series and annotate them in these paperback copies as opposed to like hardback, because it's just, hardback's not as easy to read, but it looks better on a shelf. So I will keep my hardbacks, but to actually reread paperback's better. So I believe I got book 2 and 3, and then 2 of the later books. So The Last Odyssey is the most recent book that is out. Crucible was, I think, 2 or 3 books ago. I don't remember. Oh god, there they go. Only thing that's kind of frustrating is that even though they're all mass market paperbacks, is that they are different heights, which is unfortunate. So these 2 in the beginning of the series are shorter than these 2 towards the end of the series. But whatever. They were 20% off, so I think each of these was like $4 or $5. And after that sale, I was still missing 2 books. Technically, I have both of those books. I have them in hardback, but I wanted them, like I said, in paperback. So I went to thriftbooks and bought the first book in the series, and I think this might be book 10 or something, in paperback. So there we go. Now, with these, oh god, I have completed the series thus far in mass market trade paperback. So I don't actually remember any of the plots of these books individually, except for like, I remember these 2. I think these are the 2 I read most recently besides the arc that I have of the most recent one in this series. But just to kind of give you an overall of what this series is about. It's about a group of specially trained operatives in the Department of Defense. So they are highly trained special forces, and then they get trained in a realm of science to like a PhD level. So they're super intelligent spies, basically. And these books are super fun, and I'm really excited to reread the whole series because, like I said, I do not remember the plot of like these ones literally at all, and most of these. I don't remember what the plot is. Like, I read most of them in like high school. Hopefully I remember it this time. Probably not. I'm mostly there with these 2, but I think I will still enjoy rereading them. So with that thrift book order, I also ordered 2 other books. One of them is A Brief History of Time by Stephen Hawking. I listened to this on audiobook a few months ago, I think, and I really enjoyed it. I wanted a physical copy because at some point I would like to reread it and annotate it. And I think especially with I think there's some figures, maybe not. Oh, well, yeah. There's like some figures in here, some equations and stuff that I think would just be a little bit easier to look at physically than trying to understand audibly. So yeah, I mean, I did enjoy listening to it and I was able to keep up with most of it, but the last couple of chapters, just way beyond my realm of comprehension. I'm hoping that if I read it physically, I might understand it a little bit better. A brief synopsis of A Brief History of Time. I guess this kind of gives it away in the title, but Stephen Hawking basically goes through the development of physics and through like Newtonian physics and up to like the understanding of like the expansion of the universe, like kind of in the 80s, because this book was written in the 80s, I believe. So I think it kind of goes through their understanding of, I think it goes a little bit through like quantum physics and then like more into like astrophysics towards the end. I can't quite remember, which is why I bought it, so I can reread it. I think this would definitely be good to have. I also got Ernest Hemingway's For Who the Bell Tolls. This is one that I wanted to read as my kind of classic this year. I am going to Sun Valley, Idaho next winter, and so I want to read at least one of Ernest Hemingway's books before I go there. And For Who the Bell Tolls was actually partially written in Sun Valley, so it'd be really cool to read this before I go there. I don't actually know what this is about at all. Oh, just kidding. I know what this is about. It's a story about an American who goes to fight against the fascists in the Spanish Civil War. So I'm hoping it'll be really, really good. I think this is a fascinating time in history. Ernest Hemingway actually went over to Spain during their Civil War and covered part of it for a newspaper or magazine or something, I can't remember. So it's kind of like a historical fiction, probably somewhat contemporary fiction at the time. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I think I will really, really enjoy it. So as I was on my kind of book buying tirade, I jumped over from Thrift Books over to Book Depository because I really wanted a certain cover of a certain book that I had read. And while I was on that website, I was like, well, I might as well buy this other book that I want to read. And that is these two books. So the first one is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I read The Song of Achilles on ebook in like 2018. So I've been wanting to buy a physical copy for a while, but I didn't really like the cover with the helmet on it. So when I saw this cover with like just kind of plain blue with like a little bow on it, I thought it was a lot cuter and just looked a lot better. And like I said, I'm a big fan of a paperback. So went ahead and bought this cover of it. I don't know if I'll reread it anytime soon, but I really enjoyed this book, so I really wanted to get a physical copy of it. I'll give a quick synopsis for people who have been living under a rock and haven't heard about this book somehow. But it is a retelling of the Trojan War from Achilles' friend, lover, person, Patroclus? How do you say his name? Patroclus? I don't know. A Greek name. But it starts from when the two boys are children and are raised together and goes all the way through, spoiler alert, Patroclus's death during the Trojan War and how that spurred Achilles into eventually fighting in the war and also dying in the Trojan War. Again, spoiler warning for a 2,000, 3,000 year old story. I don't even know. Trojan War story is very, very old. I remember really, really enjoying this book, even though I don't remember too many details about what was going on, but I am excited to have a physical copy of my own now. And then finally, I bought The Spanish Love Deception. My friend Nicole, I think, got an arc of this like last year, or maybe it was like independently published and then like got popular and then became, I don't know. But my friend Nicole read this like last year, and she mentioned that the main character is a chemical engineer, which both Nicole and I have chemical engineering degrees, so I thought it'd be really fun. I've never read a book with like a chemical engineer in it, so I thought that'd be really fun to read about a woman in STEM. A woman in STEM is always going to get me, especially a woman in STEM in romance. I love seeing women in STEM get to live their life and be feminine and fall in love. So I guess I don't really know what this one is about, but I know it's extremely popular on TikTok and it's a fluffy romance. I'm probably going to enjoy it. I've never met a fluffy romance that I didn't have a good time reading. And then finally, I didn't buy these last two books, but my mom gave them to me because I had mentioned that I was interested in reading them and she had them. And that is Nora Roberts' fantasy series that she's writing under her Nora Roberts name. I don't know if I've ever actually read a Nora Roberts book, which seems crazy to me because she writes like everything. She's written all the books that have ever existed. it's Nora Roberts. But yes, so I have the first 2 books. I don't think the 3rd book is out yet. And I don't actually know anything about these books, but it says The Dragonheart Legacy, so I'm assuming there's dragons. There's also like a little dragon illustration on the cover. And then this one's the Awakening, so I'm assuming the dragons were sleeping and now they are awake and now we're dealing with the dragons. Oh god. And then this one is The Becoming. It's book 2, but there's a rainbow on there. I don't know. I'm gonna read the flap and see what this book is. Okay, so it sounds like there is a woman in the mortal realm who suddenly discovers that she has ties to the magical realm and then gets pulled into said magical realm, which I am very excited. I might have to fuss with my TBR a little bit to fit this one in because I'm kind of jonesing for like normal girl gets pulled into magical, crazy, what's the word I'm looking for? Circumstances. This is an itch I didn't know I had until I read this flap, and now I need to scratch it. So this one I might be reading sooner than I thought it would. So that is all the books I bought in the month of February. I spent too much money, but sometimes you just gotta do some book retail therapy to make things feel better. And you know, going through all of these, I do feel pretty good right now. The books give the serotonin. Comment if you've read any of these books or are interested in any of these books. Let me know what you think. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next video.